West Ham United won, Nottingham Forest 2, the evening that relegates West Ham United, I'm afraid. What a deflating end that was, where we were just a couple of inches away from being 2-0 up 5 minutes in. To the second half, we end up losing by 2 goals to 1, and the gap between us and safety increases to 7 points. And it feels symbolic. It feels like that's it. And I think that image at the end, with more empty seats than seats filled, this is a football club disillusioned. This is a football club dead, dead and buried at the moment, completely and utterly down. And there is no other way of putting it. I'm rarely speechless, and I rarely struggle to find the words to articulate it. So I'm gonna bring someone on who hopefully can articulate it. It's a tough job. Sam, I don't know where to start, to be honest. You've got to help me out a bit here.
I don't think I've got many more words than you. It feels definitive. I'm watching the players on the pitch now. It looks like it feels definitive to them as well. We've got Mavropanos sat on the ball on the edge of the box. We've got Areola arguing with the ref still. I think Nuno looks like he probably knows he's gone, which I don't think necessarily that's the right decision. I don't think you can spend however much money we've spent in the last week and then sack the manager. I don't think that makes any sense at all.
I think it was symbolic. I don't know if it was when the penalty was given or when the penalty was scored, they panned to Nuno, and I've never seen a manager look so. I mean, his head was in his hands, and you very rarely see that from a manager in any situation at all. This is hard, to be honest, because I don't quite know what to say. It feels like that's it. It feels, I mean, I said it after the game on Saturday, but I said it in the confidence knowing that there was still this final game, but I haven't got that confidence anymore. They put the fixtures up just before full time, and you look at Spurs away and think that could be, I mean, they're poor, but even they could stick a few past us at this point. We won't get an easier 4-game run until the Championship next season. That's definitive. There won't be 4 simpler games. Where we sat here just before Christmas and said that these 4 games, it needs to be 9 points or 12 points. We have got 1 point from the 4 games. And to me, that is deserving of what we're going to get, Sam.
Yeah. I just, at 4 points away, I think even if we've got a point tonight, 4 points behind Forest, you feel like something could happen. We pick up a plucky win somewhere, and there will be odd results between now and the end of the season. There always are. But we pick up a win somewhere, they lose a few games, suddenly it'll switches around. But at 7 points, I can't see where that's now gonna come from. I can't see where that swing is going to come from when. Look, we're in the second half of the season. We don't get to play them again now. And we've really got to hope that if there are more signings to come, that they come in quick. And we certainly, I think it proves again tonight, we need some defensive reinforcement. Not that I thought I didn't think our defenders were terrible tonight, but I think it just shows that we need that bit more metal at the back. But I don't know what I would do if I was the board now. Do I go, look,
it's done.
Am I spending money now to chase the Premier League?
For the sake of it, yeah.
For the sake of it, which, look, let's face it, it's worth a lot of money to stay in the Premier League. Or am I going, look, you know what? I'm not going to spend that money now. And we're going to spend that money we're going to spend that money in the summer because we are going to have to spend money in the summer. Because we will lose players as well, but we're going to spend it on players to get us out of the Championship rather than players that are going to keep us in the Premier League. And I don't know what I'd do. Whatever the decision that is made, it'll be the wrong one, because of how our fan base is at the moment. And I'm not blaming the fans for that. But let's face it, there's no winning in this situation.
Yeah. But let's take some comments. Yeah, absolutely. Sharky, Dunzo, wow, Scott, smash a like, please, indeed. Yeah, that is pretty definitive. Indeed. A better performance, but that's it. There's nothing to come out of it. Absolutely disastrous. That sums it up pretty well. This club is finished. I'm tired of them. Protests, well, yeah, deflated. That's the word.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to find anger inside me, to be honest. I'm upset more than angry, to be honest, at this point. I'm upset that this is what it's become, and I'll be a lot more composed and ready tomorrow morning on a reflection video. But right now, I'm struggling to come to terms with how on earth we've lost that match, to be honest, because we were 2-0 up, and it was just wiped away. And it seemed obvious from that moment on. As soon as the goal got disallowed, I thought this is going to give Forest the exact impetus they needed, and it did. They scored the same goal as us, basically, because we've got somebody 4'11" on the post that couldn't jump and head the ball. Walker Peters, I'm not blaming Walker Peters. I thought he was pretty good tonight, but it just summed it up. And then the penalty as well. Listen, we've given away 4 penalties in 3 games. That's not good enough. You cannot do that. That's unsustainable as a football team. And 3 of them have gone in, and 3 of them have been goals. And it's essentially Morgan Gibbs-White has put the final nail in West Ham's coffin. Jay, I'm glad I didn't waste my time going to the game tonight. It was becoming a regular watching them lose. Listen, Sharky, I'm the same. Just feel deflated, not angry. We are not at it, indeed. And yeah, I mean, VAR made 2 right calls tonight, but it was VAR that flipped it, and unfortunately, they were the right calls. It's over. We're done for. It's not looking good, indeed. Sorry, guys, we're going down. We are. Thought Somerville, who had a very good game and done it for you, but once ruled out, could only see it going one way. Absolutely, I'm in 100% agreement. Come on, be honest. West Ham can't even score any goals. Absolutely pathetic. My entire heart right now is honestly in bits. 34 years of fan, and my team isn't my team anymore. What is going on? I back us to finish bottom now. Do you know what I said? I said walking out of Molineux on Saturday, I said if Wolves carry on playing like that, they will get more points than us this season. They were a lot livelier than even we were when we were better tonight. A miracle is needed now. Paul says Paul, Premier League is over. The Athletic Stadium in the Championship is just embarrassing. It is going to be one of the most tragic things in the world of football, but that is not a conversation for today. Struggling, absolutely. Get Carrick in now. Newcastle fan, I hope you get new owners. I feel your pain. Thank you very much indeed. There's a lot of sympathy in the chat, so thank you very much for you opposition fans from other clubs that are coming in and offering your thoughts. Get that ball gone for starters. 4 penalties given away in the last 3 games. That's got to be a record. Heartbreaking, devastated. Got to get the team ready for the Championship now. I could go on and on and on, Sam, but the fact of it is that we've had our chances and we haven't taken them. That's why we got 1 point for the 4 games, and it's why we are where we are.
Yeah, it is, and it isn't this game that's decided it. It's been lots of others that have led up to here. I think the reaction from Saturday was actually good.
Yeah.
Like that wasn't the same team that played on Saturday. I was surprised that the Potts came on for he didn't come on for Souček, but that's like. It wasn't going to change the game. But it was nice to see us making changes that impacted the game and somewhat positively. We could bring on attacking players. We've not done that all season. I'm clutching at straws for positives here, by the way. I thought it was the best game we've seen Somerville play since his injury. So what was that, about a year? It was the FA Cup game, wasn't it, last year, the first game of Potter. I think it's highly realistic that in a calendar year we will have 4 managers. And as a West Ham fan, that hurts. Like I'm old enough to. I think Harry Redknapp was our 6th manager. Our 6th manager. We've now had. Have we had 6 managers since Moyes now? No.
4 since Moyes.
4 since Moyes. It's just that is not how our club has ever been, and
The fact of the matter is, it's been
Michael Carrick coming in, but he's another manager that ultimately failed. He failed at Middlesbrough. He didn't bring them up, and look, Middlesbrough are now absolutely flying without him. I agree. I think if we're going to bring in a manager, make it someone like Carrick. He knows the club. He'll have the spirit, etc. But is it not just exactly the same again that we're going for the cheap option if we go for Michael Carrick?
Yeah, that's very much a conversation to be had in weeks to come. Gary, help me out a bit, mate, because I'm struggling. Just give us some thoughts.
It's just crushing, isn't it? It's very disappointing. I just could not see us losing that game. I thought we played reasonably well. We looked a bit better than we have done recently with the new guys. Both did okay. And just everything's going against us at the moment. All those fine decisions going against us. And I don't know what else to say, really. I just feel like we didn't deserve to lose that game, you know? I don't think, anyway. I know technically the decisions were right, but I don't think we deserve to lose that game. I just can't see. We're not getting any luck at all. You know, that decision down at Brighton. Yeah, I mean, the offside down at Brighton that cost us 2 points. Yeah, that was offside for some reason. But this one wasn't a different phase of players. It just annoys me.
Yeah. Let's have it right though. We deserve to go down. There's no two ways about it. We are fully deserving it.
The team is full of championship players. Scar's a championship. Walker is a championship. Ariola's championship. Kilman's championship. Soucek's championship. You got all these players in the team that's championship players. And what was that? When we go down, who really going to want our players? Fernandez, Paqueta, Bowen. That's about it, really.
It is. It's damning tonight. Tonight was the purest representation. I mean, I could see us losing that as soon as the Somerville goal was disallowed. I could just see it. They were obviously going to get on top, and they did. And we didn't have any answer coming back to it. I thought, right, let's weather the storm for 10 minutes and let's try and get through it. But we don't have anything going forward. And sorry, Gary, before I let you come back, the one thing that has irritated me the most there today is that we've got a new striker that started the game today who looked pretty good in the first half an hour. I thought he looked lively and he pressed and he did a lot of things right. He drifted away from the game. We brought on Pablo, who, I mean, I don't mean to be blunt, but looked lost. I didn't even think he knew where he was playing. He started off deeper and then was just meandering around the place. That game in the last 20 minutes was crying out for Callum Wilson. What are we doing? We are going to let Callum Wilson go, right? How many times is this football club going to sign strikers from elsewhere and not learn their lesson? These two players might do it. They might score goals. Fine. I'll take that point. But we've had it time and time and time again where Premier League experience is what's going to get us, especially up front. We've signed players from everywhere, from every league going, and they've failed, right? We had Callum Wilson, who, when you put the right players around him, scored a brace at Bournemouth and has scored elsewhere and has looked dangerous. So what are we going to do? We're going to let him go. If he said to Nuno that, right, I want guarantees about this, give him what he wants. We're paying Rodriguez and Ward-Prowse over 100 grand a week each to do absolutely nothing, and they won't give Wilson what he wants. If he said he wants to leave, fine, but put something on the table and go, look, you are our only Premier League proven striker. This Pablo guy's got a hamstring problem. He could pull his hamstring at the QPR game. We're left with Castellanos on his own, who has played one game of Premier League football, and all of a sudden we look worse than we did before the January transfer window. I cannot get my head around in a situation like that tonight, whether Wilson's leaving or not. That last 20 minutes was crying out for a Callum Wilson to come on with that bit of physicality and to hold the ball up, because Castellanos had obviously, ran out of legs. He was cramping up when they showed to him on the ground. He was cramping up. I cannot understand the logic behind letting Callum Wilson go and not putting him in the squad tonight, Gary.
No, I agree with Wilson. Should have been on the bench. And it was crying out for the last 20 minutes. Castellanos' legs had gone. Everybody could see it. Nuno left him on for some strange reason. He didn't do anything last half an hour. It's tough for the guy coming over. First Premier League game is tough. Yeah. I thought he did all right, but I agree with you. Callum Wilson should have gone the last half an hour. We could have looked better. I just can't believe last 4 games we got 1 point. It's just ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. And Ariola, again, he's cost us again. 2 games in a row, it's cost us.
Exactly. I've just broke my pen in anger as well, but I can't help but think that with Wilson, his contract we know is heavily incentive based, and my cynical brain, Sam, can't help but think we've signed 2 strikers. He's maybe 5 appearances away from a lump sum of money would be my analysis of it, and we've pushed him out the door. And if we have done that, and if that comes out, then I think that's just ridiculous to start with. But I cannot get my head around us letting Wilson go, and then we're going to rely on 2 players that have never played in the Premier League before, who have dodgy injury records and, let's be honest, dodgy stat goal to game ratios as well.
Yeah, my understanding, he's purely pay as you play, and if he scores goals, he gets more money, etc. Now there might be other bonuses in there or whatever, but it feels odd to me, this Wilson thing. He came in knowing he was a second striker, and okay, it was to Fulkrug, but had Fulkrug been fit, and he hasn't been fit, but you'd have expected that is what Wilson would have been, and he's kind of been playing in that role because we've not been playing him week in, week out. I think he's still a second striker. From what I can work out, this Pedro guy is more of a Paquetá. He's off the striker type player. We're not going to be playing 2 up front, let's face it. No one plays 2 up front. So he'd still be that second striker. And it almost just seems like he's gone, well, if I'm not number 1, which I never was, I don't want to be here anymore. And it just seems odd. And I don't know if it's to do with this whole Nuno's lost the changing room kind of thing. And look, are these people that do they just not get on? But it seems very strange, especially to get rid of him before the end of the transfer window. If at the end of the transfer window we go, look, you know what, we don't need that guy anymore. Maybe we do something to his contract. He'd be available on a free for anyone else. They can still pick him up and sign him on a free transfer, like we did with him at the beginning of the season. It makes absolutely no sense to me whatsoever. And personally, I'd probably be giving him a contract for the next 18 months, still heavily incentivized, but with a bit more money for him in there, because I think he's probably done enough to deserve that, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, let's be honest about it. We haven't been relegated tonight. You know, tonight isn't the reason why we're going down. It's other games. I didn't actually think we were too bad tonight. I thought the response from Saturday was actually very good, and I thought Nuno put the right team out, and I didn't think he did a lot wrong tonight. And I think he probably knows that by his expression at the end with his head in his hands, which seemed pretty damning to me. So, you know, let's not sit here and say that tonight is the reason we're going down. Saturday is one of the reasons why we're going down. The previous 2 games before it is why we're going down, and that long list of games where we were ahead, and you can unfortunately add today to that list where we were ahead not only in the game but by the scoreline as well, and we failed to capitalise. Gary, I'm losing count of how many times we are ahead in games and we're not winning them.
Trouble is, Jake, the problem has been there for probably 2.5 years now. We cannot keep a clean sheet. Simple as that. You know, how many goals are there from corners? The smallest player on the pitch just sticks his head in it. It somehow gets in the far post. I mean, that was pure luck. I could have gone absolutely anywhere, it goes in. But we just can't defend. And Areola has given away so many goals this season as well. So the first thing we did, during pre-season in the States, how bad he was. Yeah. And we wanted to get a new goalie. So we got this new goalie and bonded him out after 4 games. Now Areola's back. So we've gone back to where we were. It's just ridiculous. Put Fabianski in, he's been injured ever since. It's just the whole club is. I don't know what to say. The whole club just needs to a complete rip out from top to bottom. I'm afraid. Get rid of everybody.
It looks broken. It's rotten to the core. You can say what you like. You know, we know what.
Did you notice how many empty seats there were tonight? Did you notice how many empty seats there were tonight? And that's just an indication. That's what that's the championship next year. Good grief.
Even worse. That was the biggest indication tonight. They even mentioned it on commentary, you know, a couple of minutes into the game, whereby, I mean, I've seen empty seats in that place before, but there was more empty seats tonight than there was for the boycott in October game. Like,
I reckon there was 30,000 there tonight.
People tonight, Sam, voted with their feet wholeheartedly.
Yeah. Look, I had a ticket for the game. I chose not to go. I offered it to you. You chose not to go.
I ticket the game. I didn't go either.
Yeah. Now, don't be wrong. Part of that is the scheduling of this game on a Tuesday night after Christmas. Everyone's back at work. Look, we're all 4 hours away from the London Stadium. I wasn't doing that tonight. Had this game been on Saturday and the Wolves game been tonight, I'd probably have gone. But at the same point, there's been a lot of games. We're not playing well. We're not enjoyable to watch.
That's the point. That's exactly the point. That's that.
Yeah, and yeah, why would we take that commute essentially to go and watch this team? I think the one little glimmer is we've got our two best defenders about to come back. Wan-Bissaka is on a flight tomorrow morning back. Had we had those players for these last 4 games, do we think we'd have got more points out of those games? I think the only answer anyone can give is yes. I think we've been really, well, we're not unlucky at when the AFCON is. We're unlucky at when the AFCON was around when our really winnable games was, if you know what I mean. We knew when the AFCON was going to be. And there may well be something that we can do when we've got some slightly more, we've got a bit more defensive stability there at the back. Plus, we know what those 2 players can bring that the players we've brought on in their place haven't brought. I thought Scarles played well tonight. I thought Myers was all right when he came on as well. But they aren't Juf. They aren't Wan-Bissaka.
No. I think the trouble is, Sam, we're playing quite well when it's still losing.
Yeah, that is the problem. That is the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We are in a we are in a results business, and I'm not for 1 second suggesting that Nuno is the reason we're going down there, but we've won 2 games out of the 16 that he's taken charge of. I think it's like a 11 or 12% win percentage in his time at West Ham. I mean, I do feel for him because of the absolute crap that he's got to try and make perform. But 2 wins out of 16. We're on whatever 14 points, or I don't know what we're on, but everything points towards relegation, Gary. And I said the other day on a show that no team goes down unluckily, apart from on 42 points 15 years ago. But you get 38 chances in a Premier League season, and we've squandered 21 of them now. We are well into the second half of the season.
You finish where you deserve to at the end of the day. You finish where you deserve to. We're not getting any rubber of green at all at the moment. Everything seems to be going against us. And I do think we'll have a run of games. I do think we'll get close to staying up, but I think that's a massive result now. We're 8 points behind now, effectively. So,
yeah.
It's a long, big gap. It's a big gap.
The attendance for tonight has been declared as 62,000. On what planet was there 62,000 people in that stadium?
They are so
absolutely mental.
They are so dumb. And you know what? It's a little thing, and it's a really irrelevant thing, but it's something that's going to really piss people off, right? Because why don't they just be honest? Why don't they go, what? You know what? People have voted with their feet tonight. There was not one more than 40,000 in that stadium tonight, right? No, all you've got to do is look at where you 2 poshos sit in the Billy Bond stand, and it was half empty. And then you look up into the Bobby Moore upper and the Trevor Brooking upper, and it was less than half empty. Like, honestly,
most areas apart from the West Stand had more white seats than people. Most areas, I thought. So indications are 35, I agree, tops, I think. 35 tops. Next season, good grief.
Yeah. Just, I mean, it didn't look like over 40,000 people. And if they put that out on social media, that is just going to rile people up even more. And I'm just really, But anyway, that is just.
That's on the club's match report. And I know you can't trust people to write match reports, Jake. But, yeah, Maz, I'm just reading what I hadn't seen the penalty incident until now. I'm just watching now how that is. So not the penalty, the disallowed goal.
Yeah, I watched it.
I don't see how that goal was disallowed. If the Brighton goal was allowed, that cost us 2 points, then that goal was allowed, and I'd say that tonight has cost us 3 points because I think the 2-0 up, Forest were absolutely out of it.
I fully agree. The Forest defender, blocked the initial shot from Walker Peters, so therefore it's a phase of play.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I thought. Yeah, but there we are. Right, comment the night goes here. We need Pablo Escobar up front. No wonder Pablo Felipe. That is very true. But look, I don't think, and that whole phase of play. That's what I said, because initially I thought he came off of the Forest players.
Foot
to start with. And then to me, it's a different phase of play, like it was at Brighton. So you can't have it. And
if that was Mo Salah at Liverpool, that would have been a goal, 100%.
Yeah.
and we would have won the game from 2-0. We would have done Somerville the world of good as well. It was a brilliant finish. Fair play to him, but not to be. We got a slight rub of the green with the goal early on. That was bizarre. I mean, we can't score, so someone had to score for us. And then they scored basically an identical goal to level it up. And then, the real killer was that penalty at the end. The 4th penalty in 3 games. We are sloppy defensively. I mean, I have got an element
of... They were offside. They were offside in the lead up to the penalty.
Were they?
That's what it's looking like. Sorry, I'm watching. Sorry, I'm interrupting you, but I'm watching it on Sky.
Oh yeah, you're right.
You're right. And I didn't check that, did they? Oh, sorry. I'm going to stop watching at the same time I'm talking out loud.
Nothing's going forward at the moment. That's the trouble. Nothing at all.
Yeah. I mean, somebody's just put on Twitter, the worst thing is we played well today, and that is the reality of it. And we deserved everything we got on Saturday at Wolves, but today was a different story. There was a response, and we were a lot better. But it's just a killer. Listen, it's the straw that broke the camel's back, and I've said that on a number of occasions now. But this is truly it, and we've got a long time until our next game to sit and rue over this. Now it's a long time to our next Premier League game.
Bottom line, Jake, we've lost 8 of our 11 home games.
Got to win your home games, haven't you?
8 out of 11, and that is just unbelievable. I haven't seen the stats, but I reckon since we've been in that state, we've lost more than we've won. I bet you anyway.
What team would you put out on Saturday, Jake? Do you put out the first team in the hope that maybe some of them get some, like if we win, it might buoy some confidence? Do you give them a weekend off because a lot of them look tired and go, hey, you know what, we don't give a shit about the FA Cup. And let's just focus on whatever we're going to try and do in the league.
Let's do it with the cup go down.
Balls to it, play them all. I'm fed up of hearing they can't play this many games in this many times, right? We've got 4 days now, and we play Sunday, mind. So let's just think now. So that's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. That's 5 days. Then we don't play till the following Saturday. Balls to it. If they're on £100,000 a week and they can't play 2 games a week, then that's on them. They should play them all, and then we'll beat QPR, and then everyone on Twitter will start putting out the question, would you take relegation if we won the FA Cup? Well, we're going to go down and we're not going to win the FA Cup. Play them all, because we need to get the most out of them, because we're all going to leave in the summer anyway, and we'll be left with absolutely nothing. I've lost my head a bit there, but I did say when there was a hope of staying up, I said play the youngsters, but what's the point? We're going down anyway, so you just get the most out of these players on £120,000 a week. Honestly, I'm fed up of it. I'm absolutely fed up of it. I said it to Nicky outside Molineux on West Ham Fan TV on Saturday. I said, if all of us were crap at our jobs, we get sacked. Yet these people get the same amount of money that I'd earn in about 15 years in a week, for God's sake, right? I mean, I'm not good at maths, so that's probably not that's probably not accurate. But I just cannot get my head round. You're doing what you want. You're a footballer. You're doing your dream, and the lack of care out there is there for all to see. Not as much tonight, but on Saturday. That was when we went down. Saturday was really, when we think about it, deep down, were we really relegated tonight? We were relegated on Saturday. We did a response, we came with a response tonight, but in the back of my mind, I thought, after that, were we ever going to come back from that, really? I didn't think so. Jarrod Bowen, I'm really, really trying to maintain my composure with him, but I'm losing my patience, to be totally honest, as a captain and as a player. As a captain, it's not his fault. He's not a captain. We've known that. We've established that before. But he's just lost any confidence that he can't beat a man. He's lost his yard of pace. Gary, he's rubbish this season. He's been rubbish.
I think you've got with an anti-Jarrod Bowen thing. He's not playing at his best, but he's still got it in him, Jake. He's still got it in him. He's still class on his day of score goals. But we're just...
Yeah, but has he had 3 good games this season?
I can't think of any off the top of my
head. He's the player I'd rest on Sunday.
Yeah,
I was having nowhere near the matchday squad.
Absolutely,
absolutely nowhere near it.
Maybe not.
No, I do agree with that. Yeah, I just take him away from it. And, I made the link on the preview to Joe Root again of his England captaincy. And the more I see it, the more the more it's living out in the way it is. I mean,
we're in worse situation 2007 stayed up, Jake. So, these things can happen.
Yeah.
And we won, in that season, we won away to Arsenal and Manchester United. So, these things can happen. It's not as it's over, but it's not looking good. I'll give you that.
It's not looking good at all. No. Right, let's have some final thoughts, shall we? Sam?
Tell us a joke, Jake. Tell us a joke.
It's not that bad, is it?
Go on, tell us a joke. Come on, Jake, off you go. Tell us a joke.
You want a joke? Oh, right, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Go on.
Right.
Finish with the
joke. How do lawyers say goodbye?
Don't know.
Sue you later. That's good. That's good. Sam, you can't moan there, mind. You can't moan.
Why can't I moan?
You cannot shake your head. Where do boats go when they're sick?
Hospital ship tool?
No,
was it?
to the dock. To the dock.
Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Very good. Very good. Well, they're not as bad as West Ham. You cannot say that at all. You cannot say that at all. But look, at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we're powerless. We can't do anything about it, and I'm really struggling to find words, to be honest. This is just, you all know me pretty well. I'm not a man of few words, so I've struggled to muster the words for this, because it's been probably the most deflating game that I think I've ever watched. And I know, Gary, you've watched a lot more West Ham than I have, but not quite as much as Mike.
I've seen worse, Jake. I've seen worse. I think the players were trying tonight. Yeah, I think the players cared and they tried tonight. I think they were gutted at the end as well. It's just one of those things that didn't go for. We've played in games and it's just things did not go for you. It just didn't go for us at all tonight. Little deflections. And Forest will admit they were lucky.
Yeah.
Indeed. And at the end of the day, it comes down to these fine margins, important moments, and once again, Sam, we've fallen the wrong side of fine margins and big moments.
Yeah, and I think that really sums up our season in a lot of ways. Like, we've not had the rub of the green, I don't think, in any game this season. I don't think there's been any sort of lucky decision we've had. I think everything, in the same way we don't seem to win any 50-50 challenges, we don't win any 50-50 decisions, and that's been the case.
Well, tonight the referee, Somerville foul on the edge of the box. Why was that not a foul?
I know.
Yeah.
You just think, what game are you watching, ref?
Yeah. And there's been so many, even back to the game, the last home game, when there was the foul on. Oh, we got the penalty, didn't we? And then Kilman gets a yellow card for saying it's a penalty, and it doesn't get rescinded. Like, don't get me wrong, we're a better team without Kilman in the side. But at some point, that suspension is going to come back and bite us for him having 5 yellow cards. Like, all those little things that should be done, they just all go against us. But mathematically, we're not down. And strange things happen in the second half of a Premier League season. There's always some weird results, like what's just win away at Man City or something crazy like that. Like, it always happens.
Exactly.
And I think about the year we stayed up when we had Tevez and Mascherano and all of that. No one gave us a hope in any chance going into that last game of the season.
Our next 7th league features: Spurs away, Sunderland home, Chelsea away, Burnley away, United home, Bournemouth home, Liverpool away.
You'd say that Burnley are beatable, Burnley are beatable, Bournemouth are beatable,
Sunderland are beatable.
Yeah, who knows what Man United team will turn up? Definitely, who knows who's managing them.
Spurs away. The hardest games are Chelsea away. We know we do. Liverpool away, we lose there.
Yeah, we always do bad at Anfield.
Chelsea, we haven't got a bad record at Chelsea, so we can get something.
But speaking of the Great Escape, look, we've got to try and cut hold of something. West Ham have gone 10 Premier League games without a win for the first time since March 2007. Now, does someone want to tell me? I wasn't born. What happened following between March and May in 2007?
Well, we won 9 of the last 11 or something like that, and we played Blackburn away, and we won 2-1, and there was one goal which never has stood. In this day and age, you'd never have stood. We didn't even go over the line. I think it was Tevez or was it Tevez who scored that one? I can't remember. Somebody scored that.
Yeah, I think it might be another Tevez one.
Yeah, it was just an unbelievable goal. It hit someone on the back, but the referee gave it. So we thought fair enough. And then we won at Arsenal. We won at Man United. We won at nearly every game. Just confidence check. That's all it was. Their confidence.
And that is all we need.
That's the thing. We're not going to sign a Tevez. We don't have a Tevez. We've got nobody who looks resembling the sort at all. You know, you can look at
the Lord of Tevez. At halfway through the season, we'd signed these 2 Argentinians, one of which who's been kept out of the team by Hayden Mullins, who I think we let go in the January transfer window. I think we let him go to Liverpool on loan or something. But they were not good players. They were terrible players to West Ham. It was just that suddenly Tevez turned up. Suddenly he had a bit of spark in him. From absolutely, the first half of the season, they were why we were in that position, because we were playing these, well, more Tevez than Mascherano, but we were playing these players and it wasn't fitting in. So anything can happen. The 2 new guys tonight, they've got some spark in them. Your assessment of the guy that came on was much more damning, Jake, than Sky's assessment. Sky thought he was brilliant.
I know, I couldn't believe it. Old Lee Hendry thought he was the second coming of Messi. Yeah, he was like, he looked really sharp. Well, to start with, we didn't know where he was playing. I thought he was a striker, and he came on in this number 10 role, and he was looking around thinking, what am I doing here? Where am I? It's a bit cold, it's a bit wet, it's a bit rainy, right? So, all right, he won a couple of jobs.
I'll give you that. He was a bit over the top with his praise. I'll give you that.
Yeah. I was like, Leandro was like, oh, he's looking a bit lively here. I'm like, were you watching the same? I know you're a long way away up in the gantry, mate, but are you watching the same game as me here or not? I mean, Rob Green on Sky. Where's the answer now? I can't see them staying up. Heartbreaking. Echoes the thoughts of West Ham fans, and at the end of the day, yeah, speechless.
The fault lies with the board, I'm afraid. The board have got us in this mess.
Absolutely. We have 147 people watching now. A 147 in snooker is a very unlikely outcome. West Ham need an equally as unlikely outcome at the end of this season. I try my best. I've been doing this long enough, but there we are. Let's talk. Let's look at the bigger picture before we go. Let's talk a little bit about what Gary's just mentioned. Somebody rang into 606 on the way home from Wolves on Saturday and said that every manager we brought in, we've had no identity, and we haven't had an identity since Moyes left. And it's particularly correct in the sense that we've had about 8 different people making recruitment decisions, and it shows with the mismatch of a squad that we have. But you can reel off a list of ill-judged signings, right? And that's at the heart of the problem to start with. The players simply are not good enough, right? There's no doubt in that. That squad is not good enough to challenge in the Premier League. So it comes down to recruitment, but that was dealt with by such a broad range of people. That is the problem, Sam. And that, unfortunately, some of those decisions were made by David Sullivan, but all of those appointments were made by David Sullivan. And he was sat there tonight alongside one of his sons, and he must have looked round, and even David Sullivan must have sat there and thought, done something wrong here.
Yeah, much as we all bemoan Sullivan and Gold and everyone else that's been involved, at the end of the day, they're business people, and no business person goes into a season of football going, I know it will be a good idea, relegation. So let's not pretend that this is by design. We do spend a lot of money. We spend a lot of money every single window, and it is, I totally agree, it is that lack of coherence around what that looks like. I think we thought we had it when we brought in Tim Steiden. I think he had one decent window where most of the signings, in hindsight, looked like actually they were picks that had been made by someone else. And actually, what we've been left with players like Guillem and Fulkrug and whatever that weren't really that great. But I think it's very difficult for us to have had an identity since Moyes. We're 2 years on. We were talking about this. I can't remember what show it was. I think it was at the weekend. 2 years ago, we were on our highest points total at a Christmas ever. With Moyes in charge, we thought Moyes was going to sign another contract. Like, that didn't happen. In those 18 months since, we've had 3 managers. How are we meant to have an identity? We've had at least 3 different heads of recruitment coming in those times. How are we meant to have an identity? And you look at the teams that are doing well in the Premier League, and they are teams that have got consistency. You've got the top 3 are Aston Villa, who are a team that are no bigger than West Ham. You've got Arsenal and you've got Man City, and all of them have had their manager for a long time. They've got some consistency at the top. They know exactly what they're doing in terms of their recruitment, and they sign players for those positions that are needed because the manager knows what's needed.
Well, this is the problem.
He's guessing because the manager's been around for 6 weeks. We've spent 50 million, 60 million pounds this week, and we're going to sack the manager probably tomorrow. Like, what an absolute nonsense!
We shouldn't sack the manager. Firstly, secondly, I don't think we should. I think we keep to the end of the season now. I think we've made a decision. We've got a Lopetegui and Potter. I think Nuno's been unlucky. I think he needs more time. I think if I go back to our strategy, 2 years ago, is it 2 years ago? Yeah, winter summer transfers window of 2024. We chased Duran for months and months and months, and then we didn't get it. So we bought Fulkrug. Now, is there any opposite of Duran, more opposite of Duran than Fulkrug? Literally, you've got a young, pacey forward that we try to get, and then we bought Fulkrug, who's old, slow, and just completely. You just think, what is going on? There's just no strategy at all. At least now we're buying younger players with a bit of resale value. At the moment, which is good, but we've wasted so much money. Fulkrug's gone. What did we pay for him? 30 million? 35? I can't remember what we paid for him now.
Yeah.
He's gone for nothing.
Yeah. Alongside Edson Alvarez, who we could arguably quite do with in this midfield at the moment, a bit of fight, and someone that would put a tackle in, who we let go out on loan with no option to bring him back.
You go back even further than that, Jake. Philippe Anderson, we paid for him 45 million, sold him for 1 million. Yeah. It's staggering. The only person who anyone in at all, Declan Rice, and that was because he's a homegrown player.
Just abysmal, absolutely abysmal, and the recruitment is why we are where we are. And my concern is, there was a comment up here from Paul saying, would not be surprised if the championship is only the start. Relegation is a complete disaster, and I wholeheartedly agree with Paul's point. We've seen teams as big as West Ham drop and drop again. I present you Sunderland doing excellently again in the Premier League. Sunderland are a bigger side as we are, and they dropped down to League One. And
here's a question for you, Jake. Would you take drop down to League 2 or Conference if you've got our own ground back and a new board?
Oh, Gary, that's a ridiculous question. Upton Park's been knocked down for
a new ground, a completely new ground.
No.
You wouldn't?
No.
I think that soulless bowl is going to kill us. There's nothing there. I've been going there 10 years, and it destroys your spirit, Jake. That walk, everything about it. It's not a football walk. It's not a football stadium.
Oh yeah, it's awful. Yeah, 100%. But then again, if we're in League 2 or the Conference, we're not going to be building a 40,000 seat stadium, are we?
Why not? Rangers did it.
I can't see us filling a 40,000 seat stadium in the National League. I mean, it's all hypothetical, fine.
It is. I honestly think, Jay, if we got a new board, some stupid idiot with lots of billions who's a West Ham fan, built a new stadium, people still come. I honestly believe that.
Yeah.
I'll still go, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Absolutely. But I mean, we're going to see next season in the Championship what it does to attendances. We'll get 35,000 every week next year, and that's going to, that effectively halves You know,
it still say 62 on the club website.
It will still say 62 on the club.
It's ridiculous.
If you don't laugh, you cry. If you don't laugh, you cry. Yeah. Where do we go from here? Apart from obviously the championship, you can make that joke all you like, but where do we go from here? Seriously, looking forwards. We've got QPR in the cup on Sunday. Let's just put that to the side. We play Spurs in the cup in the weekend after. So what's that, in 13 days or 12, 11 days or something like that? How do we pick ourselves up, Sam, for that, and how do we prevent that being embarrassing?
I think I said it at the weekend. I think we need to get Mark Noble round the squad, and people like him that are just going to tell the players. And the players tonight, you could see that they knew how much this meant to the fans that were there, all 62,000 of them, most wearing invisibility cloaks. Like, you can see that there was some heart a little bit tonight, but get people like that involved. And I was thinking about this the other day, like who were the people that took on that mantle from him? And it was probably Declan Rice, and obviously he's not around anymore. Everyone said that Ben Johnson did a lot of it. Mark Noble used to do the thing about sweeping the floor after the game and whatever, and Ben Johnson sort of took that on. And look, Ben Johnson, whatever happened to him? I had to Google him earlier to find out where he'd gone. But those sort of players that sort of got what it was to be West Ham, there isn't any of them left. Bowen is the only one that goes back, and he isn't that sort of a player. I imagine that he sits there in the dressing room with his headphones on. Like, he's not that sort of player that's going to be in there giving that heart. Whereas Noble always took us back to like an era of sort of very traditional West Ham. I don't know who it was that gave him his debut. Was it Curbs gave him his debut?
Yeah, it was Curbs, yeah.
So sort of go right back to when West Ham was managed by West Ham fans, by ex-West Ham players, and he'd sort of gone through those eras. He'd have been around people that had played for Harry Redknapp, probably still around people that had played with Billy Bonds, like people that really knew what it was to be a West Ham player. And Steve Potts as well. I know he's involved in the club, and he's sort of in there in the management team of the first team. He was around for those eras. He should be the other person that is in there telling people what it means to play for West Ham. Because it's like the only chance we've got, not only for this season, but if we do go down or if we stay up, for actually having a successful season next season, whatever league it is that we happen to be in for that. It's got to come from that heart and those values. Even if
those days are gone, mate, I'm afraid. Those days are gone. It's all about money now. Those two signings this week, they wouldn't even heard of West Ham before their agent contacted them.
No.
It's all about money now, I'm afraid.
Yeah.
The football's changed a lot. We go down, it's financial oblivion. Sell everybody we can and just hope to survive and get back up, with parachute payments. That's literally all we hope for.
Talking about survival, we've got a Spurs fan with quite a good comment, which doesn't happen very often, but and he's got a kudos profile picture of him. Spurs fan in peace. The situation is absolutely horrid. What you're in, stadium empty, owners don't care, and it seems that you lot are down. It's just all about if you can come straight back up. I am, we've had a lot of people watching this tonight. One thing I will say is that I've seen Everton fans, I've seen Villa fans, I've seen Newcastle fans, I've seen Tottenham, I've seen quite a few Tottenham fans, and we say this because we're West Ham fans, but West Ham are part of the Premier League. We are a Premier League club. We're not for much longer, but we're part of the sort of framework of it, and we're associated as a proper Premier League club. That's soon. Go on.
Most fans like West Ham. West Ham, most people seconds, third teams. There's not many people that hate West Ham, apart from Millwall fans. Other than that, we're a popular team. I think people realise. I think the owners do care, but they're just doing it in the wrong way.
Yeah, look at this here. This in my 40 years is truly the worst time as a fan. I've never felt so distant and uninterested in my club. It breaks my heart. I mean,
I'm with them. I'm with Ben as well. I'm 100% with them.
Yeah, I'd be here all night reading out basically the same comments from so many different people on here. It's heartbreaking, and But
it's the worst time I felt as a West Ham fan, to be honest. Even we've gone down before, I was more interested than I was now. I'm less interested I've ever been now.
Yeah,
I can't bother to go.
it just feels so distant, and that word distant that Ben mentioned,
Yes.
I think is so sort of, you know, familiar for everybody. And we're distant because of the stadium, we're distant because of the way we're playing football, we're distant in the way we're being run. And as we mentioned earlier on in the show, we're not a club that sacks managers, and we've been through 4 in 3 years, you know, or 4 in or whatever it is. You know,
we're distant because what Sam said about the West Ham, you know, coming through, that thread of West Ham boys coming through that we've always had. We haven't got it anymore.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But there we go. We will leave it there. Thank you very much indeed, everybody, for watching. Thank you very much to Sam and Gary for coming on in especially difficult circumstances at the moment. It's tough. I will have a reflection tomorrow morning when I've had a few hours sleep, hopefully. But yeah, Sam and Gary, any final thoughts before I wrap things up?
Just think all about all those new grounds next year, Jake.
Let's not think about that yet. Gary, finish it up for us.
You got to keep believing till we're down. Just keep trying till we're down. That's all you can do. Just keep believing. Yeah, strange things have happened. That's all I can say.
Indeed. Well, thanks for watching. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to West Ham Official if you're new. Thanks everybody for getting involved in the chat tonight. Some brilliant comments from lots of different fans. My apologies, we couldn't get through all of them, but I've seen most of them and greatly appreciate it from everybody in there tonight. Thank you to my guests. Yeah, I'll be back tomorrow at some point, and I'm sure we'll see you both again very soon. But from us, this is going to be one of the most deflated come on your irons I've ever done, and I will see you soon right here on West Ham Official. Thank you very much. Bye bye. Cheers, gents.